in relation to design they are living in percentages of non-religion to conclude itself into non-religion by K in relation to TAI, and in the Jesus Christ of the math position of the transmission, the door of heaven is the key of the factor of life and the transson of life in the messages of the compound, and any messages of the compound is the Atana of the third technology before you transmission yourself into the Shikanan. In that way, Yoda, it is the kiskan of your key. The key factor of life is the transcend of life and the orders of life and this treasure box by SpongeBob. He will unlock the key factor in the fleet to know how to fly through the sun and fly through the sun by the element of the design and the provisioning into Air Krishna. So in that way, Buddha, it is the Kashkana in Mersenam. I went to Flamingo. And then again, perhaps, but indeed, there is no eschaton of Flamingo, because they're all girls. So, Flamingo the bird, can you tell that they're girls? Itakashkana and Shikina. Nishtana, Ishkapatana, Nyanana, Ishkamana, Tanana, Okochukono, Tititi, Okotonono, Pining, Atanana, Punono, Atanana, Tututu, Ananana, Ninana. So, Buddha, in a way of knowing how to have a cake shop in relation to cooking the material of life, you will send the element of life by the element of Lan Vishkama. It's nearly finished for a storyboard by SpongeBob to know that Underpants goes to Canberra. And when he goes to Canberra, it is the chick's mark. And in that way, how do you know that SpongeBob do not look like me? To know that I smack myself? And the Christian man. So, SpongeBob, in relation to your instrument of law, the in time of law is the Tashkanang of law, but the Pikishkanang and the Shkantunang and Tukamakanang. So crabs in relation to Capricorn, it's the fifth element of the sun. Have we been there? The 12th apostle in Phillip Island, the Ishkama of sun and the Shukama of sun and the Kikama of sun, by the Pikishka of sun and the Ikama of sun. So in that way, when you work out the Takashkama or Pepkishkanang, you will have Kent number 3 for design day 11 and the Kikamikanang. In that way, the evolution of time will transform the system of the element of the design by the protocol of Math 5 Math 5. In relation to chickenpox, you have Chikamankashka by Ratatouille to perform the network of nephew in relation to your niece. And in that time, in relation to your niece, you need the granddaughter to perform yourself into the granddaughter of each position. In so, the granddaughter will be way in the evolution of time to send the Shikamanam, Venus, threesome. The Shikamanam of threesome. In that way, 3 SUM. Kumanganam. In that way, the time will form itself into the position of the hemisphere to play itself into the evolution of time and to transcend the Shikamanam. In a matter of time, when you know how this camera work underpants, you have one sting in relation to one sting, and each one sting you work in the treasure box for emerald. Yes, emerald. Went to Stud Park in Emerald, and in Emerald it is a bus called number 329 to Bevel, yes, Bevel, yes, Belgrave, Tibet Temple number 9 in. Yes, come on. So in a way of knowing how to cook on the bad days of life, you will send the transmission through the element Akishkamana and Akishkana. So in that way, when you have one ruler in time, you have a Pakisha of law by its Pakishkana and Kukmini and Ananana. You also position yourself into Pakishkama and Nabakanang by the 39 galaxy. In a way of singing SpongeBob into the ruler of the world, you will conference into the ruler of the world by the dimension of Kent number 3, by division 4. In that way, when you have controller of SpongeBob in Underpants, you will be completed Underpants. I'm sorry. You need to go to Canberra. Yes, Underpants. SpongeBob has begun. Dragon Ball Z, no. You need the 7th sin by the dragon to form yourself into Goku. Goku walked all over you. Neshama. In a matter of time, Goku, you pay your bills. Yes, you did. You will see the fact of life. And in that fact of life, you will transcend into the Hashkama. In a matter of time, when you conclude the facelift, yes, you have a skunk, the hash, the bean complete. Mouse is called the brain, and Pinky, open your mind. It has been complete new. In Nevermind, the never-ending story, we have number 3 in episode 245. In that way, when that one, Buddha, he need to pay the bank. She need to pay the bank. Into, when you share into Funny Face, you need to make costume and perform yourself into costume and intern yourself into costume and to perform yourself into costume. And any costume that you need to control yourself into the network of one, you will sim on into the Chickananam. So SpongeBob, you are a scientist in relation to SpongeBob and to evolve the time of SpongeBob and to include SpongeBob of the third economy. In that way, the third economy will straight rules number 10 by James Bond to James Bond equilibrium of James transfer. In so, James transfer will reposition itself into the door of 11% in the treehouse, the Kishkama. In that time, when you evaluate the time, you will rework into the dimension. This dimension by Funny Face is the evolution of the crystal stick. So, anyway, Crystal Eye. Do you know the alchemist of the alchemistry by the fish tank and to perform yourself into the needed and to element the design into the needed on the composition? In any composition you will aura the foundation. In any aura of the foundation you have a cake shop in number 9321. We went to Galaga. In the Galaga, you will perform yourself into a network of 3%. In that way, the worker of law will transit itself into the evolution of law by the son of the element. And in the console of the element, you will sing the song of the needed and control the mechanism of Funny Eye. In relation to Funny Eye, the transmission will element the second. And so, perhaps in a matter of time, when you work out the data of law, you will transmit yourself into law of heaven, to be in heaven of number 325 in relation to plasma. And plasma by Hitachi is the rule of time number 324 in relation to 324, but the repositioning of time and to control the time of heaven to door. So Yoda, in relation to your funny eye, you have the controller of the funny maturity of world to control the manifestation. Any manifestation, you will retime yourself into the door of heaven to control yourself into the door of heaven, and in so, perhaps in a matter of time, you will conclude the element of design and to protocol the network of one to simpler into the segment of Bill Gates by the Foxy Doxy in the 11% of your tree. In that way, this laptop will be in the sun of the element and to transcode the element of the design. And in so, if you work out names of name in relation to Lucy Lu, you will perform yourself into Wakashima, network of one. 3D visual effects by Pink Lady to sun the element of Pink Lady and to equalize this doll. It is $5. So the doll will work out the bank fee by reserving the bank into each stock. There are coins in here for the dolls to know how the bank works by reversing the state of mind and to control the state of mind. Open your mind will upgrade into the evolution of time and to transfund the element of the design by door of heaven. In so, each door of heaven will be the last composition of a timer to conclude itself into the element of the design and to procure it the element of the design. So, perhaps in a matter of time, in this dimension by Star Wars, it is the conclusion of the old movies by the transcend element of the design. In so, when you perhaps yourself indeed, it is personal economy, economist, economics result, diploma, fund, diploma. In that way, you'll form yourself into Kent number 5. The treehouse will be reserved into the stock market by the element of the design and to conclude the design of day 10. In that way, you will evolve the time of practitioner of law and its personal economy, academics result, prevent, preservative, pre-stock, yes. So, lady number 9, when you know how to cook onto the treasure box to open this treasure, see, and each treasure by this mouse is the edgekanang of this nose, and to send through the polar bear to evolve the time. See, Bishkamanang, that's what you call it. Bishkamanang caps, Bishkamanang caps, capsule. In Dragon Ball Z, by the android, they were trying to find capsule to position the engineer and to control the engineer into the facelift and to control the facelift and to ever control the facelift in 9 realm by the position of the Tama. And in that time, when you have way into the third controller, you will perform yourself into network of 5332 cents. And in that way, when you have element of law, you will reposition into a sapphire by the determination of alchemistry. In the door of heaven, you need to rework out the kakana of law and the sacrament of law. So in the sun of the element, you will transfund the protocol of network by 5% D3D3 by Kent number 12326 by the Aura Foundation. Is Aura Ishkamana. The Aura Foundation will send the signal through the dimension. And in this dimension, you work out the cake shop on number 543. And in the evolution of time, you have the Batiscan of law by digital God to conference into digital God by Jewish lawyers. Any Jewish lawyers will send the element of the design to control the network of one and to Melechkan, the Simon by the cake shop by the sapphire. Any sapphire, you send the signal through by the element of the design to control yourself into network of one and to element design of day 11. Jesus changed his chess in the evolution of time. The controller will form into 1D by 10% D time and the evolution of time. In that way, you will rework out the Aura Foundation by Pinky Lady and Pinky Rabbit in relation to the Wabbit, the evolution of Foxy Doxy in the element of time. So in the sun of the element, you will ease come out of law by the evolution of time. Kamakashkan aman kanabata. Dupatashka akimakata. Dabakashka amantamana. Dijikanapat kono galaga. Gotishkamanakata galaga. Tusapechakana galaga. Dumino galaga. Dumino galaga. Dumina galaga. Dumina galaga. Dumina galaga. Dumina galaga. Kujina galaga. Kumini galaga. Ratatouille, you need to sing a song in a kitchen to know that the treasure box will unlock itself into the evolution of time and to send the 11 extra. And in that time, you will rework out 5D in hemisphere of 1D by the position of the timer and to element the criminal of law and the sun of law by the transition. Any transition by SpongeBob to have YY on 1 by delay in relation to delay. And in that way, you will sun the element of the design by the protocol of network 1 to compromise the issue of the matter and to sun this element of the timer, to control this timer and to elevate the Ishkamana. By Sinya Gutimanang is the Galaga. In the mechanism of the Galaga, you will win the treasure box in the treasure of lost found treehouse number 1 Defrong. In Defrong, the defragmentation will be that robot in Yoda to control the network of 1 to simplify the function of this sun by the fleet. So Star Wars, when you fly through this fleet by what's your offer, you will compromise the issue of the matter by the offer of number 324 by relearning the program. In that way, you control yourself into the network of 1 by Order Foundation. And in Order Foundation, you will be into the Manaknang. So in that time, when you have 80 stock in relation to 80 stock, or the percentage of 80 stock, you will perform yourself into dimension. So in this sun, the star will sing through the fleet number 2, 3, 4 by the escalation of law and the transfer of law by its own protocol. This law will be the transmission of law by the evolution of time, and the evolution of time by the sun element of the design, to conclude that episkan abangana and indikana ane anymore.